What's up, guys? So pretty late start to today's video, but I think it should still be a really interesting one. I'm going to an LA Amazon seller meetup later. I'm going to be doing like a short little lightning talk, so that should be cool. Get a little experience doing that because maybe I'll be doing more of that in the future. For those of you that are Gary Vee fans, which I'm sure there's a lot of you, I definitely want to make sure that you saw my Airport Gary costume yesterday, so I'll pop up that from Instagram. That was hilarious. I'm still trying to get him to see it. I don't think he has, but that would be really cool. Still have the cockatiel squawking in the background, so that's gonna be here for another 2 weeks or so. Yeah, I mean, so far today I've just been grinding out, still kind of like the last video, doing a lot of logistics for Q4, sending in a lot of shipment information, palletizing, all of that to get just a lot of inventory in for all of my lightning deals for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and then just slaying it through Christmas. That's the plan. Hope it all goes well. Hope you guys are rooting for it to go well. So to make today's video valuable to you guys, I want to hit on a question that has been asked a lot of me recently. And that question is, what are the biggest mistakes that well, I was going to say you, but you meaning me, made in my Amazon business so that you can avoid making those same mistakes? So what first comes to mind, I've touched on in a couple of the Q&As, but I'm going to talk about products that failed, that were just poor decisions for these two reasons. So I've really only had two products that I full on cut out. I've had other ones that just end up doing okay and I kind of keep them rolling. That happens frequently. Obviously, every product does differently well. Like some do exceed your expectations and some do a lot worse than you expect. That's just the name of the game. But the two failures that I've had in product selection really come down to these two things. So the first one was that I chose a product that really truly was not yet proven on Amazon, meaning that there weren't sales that I could see, the BSR, all of that, see what was already selling for this exact product. There was something very similar, and this was like a new style of that product, and I knew either I would control that entire market or there wouldn't be a market. And it turned out in this case that people just didn't want it. It just never really got selling. That said, I actually think there's tremendous opportunity and stuff like that. I know people that have done exactly that and absolutely kill it. So it's just more of a risk. So that just plays into your risk tolerance versus reward. I think that there's a lot of potential reward, but there's obviously higher risk when you can't already see that this product is proven to sell. The other reason that I had a product fail sort of ties into trends. And I've said before that I obviously completely avoid anything that is like an obvious super trend, like hoverboards or fidget spinners or whatever. That I don't even look at for a split second. But in this case, I wouldn't really call it a trend, but it was like a new accessory to a product that there was only one person selling this thing. Like they had probably developed it. It wasn't patented or anything, but it was really, really, really popular. They were selling hundreds a day and nobody else was. And I was speaking to manufacturers already about this because it was in a niche that was sort of parallel to mine already. So I knew the manufacturers and they were working on a mold. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to try to be like number 2 in this niche and take an immense amount. But there's always delays that you don't expect. And so by the time my product actually launched, so did 100 other sellers. So it just went from being this massive opportunity to nothing really quick. And that's why the takeaway point from this would be, if your launch depends on a matter of like weeks, it's just not a good opportunity. You want to look at something and be like, okay, would this still be an opportunity in a month? And if the answer is yes, then it's probably good. But if you're thinking I need to get in today or there's no chance, there's no chance. Because even if you get in, you're going to get blown out, most likely. I don't like those ones that are super time sensitive. So the next thing, I don't know if I can really qualify it as a mistake, but it was just not being able to fully seize the opportunity. And this was going back to when I was a newer seller and the Amazon opportunity was a lot more wide open than it is now. Obviously, there's still a ton of opportunity. I've talked about that in a previous video. Is FBA dead? Go watch that video. It's still an amazing time to start out, and I truly do believe that. But that said, there was this massive, just wide open territory opportunity a few years ago, even more than a few years ago. I was kind of late for that. But my regret is that when it was working and there was this like very, very easy, methodical step-by-step way to get a product launched back then, I wish I had had the financial means and the risk tolerance to just really go all in, like launch 100 products in 2013, 14. I mean, the potential there was just stupidly big, and I did the best I could with the limited resources I had and the, you know, amount of risk I could stomach based on it being my entire chance at having a livelihood, basically. So, you know, I did what I could, but the takeaway tip for that would be when something is working, you need to just triple, quadruple down on that thing and do more of that. This ties into the last video I made about copying yourself and just launching more and more products, right? It's kind of the same thing, but when you have something that's working, amplify it. So I wish that I had been able to really seize that opportunity. I still did really well. I'm happy that I'm really happy with where I've gotten with this, but there was even more that I probably could have seized in that moment. And I wish I had somehow figured out how to just truly go more aggressively with it. Like, I was still in school, I was going to college, I was doing it on the side, I was doing what I could, but I mean, I should have just like dropped out, worked 24/7 a day and like taken on investment and launched 3 million products. I mean, it could have just, there was just a ton of opportunity, and I wish I had 50 brands now with hundreds and hundreds of products. I mean, obviously that's just kind of dreaming, but again, the mistake would be when something is working, you really need to be aggressive and take it, because things do change. I'm 25. I've been doing the Amazon thing for 3 solid years, was doing eBay stuff before that. I have a YouTube channel now where I talk about all of that, Matt Loberstein. How I went from 6 figures in revenue to 7 figures in revenue, and then I'm going to talk about what I'm not an expert at, which is how I think I can go from 7 figures in revenue to 8 figures in revenue. Amazon is an amazing opportunity, and even if you're starting from scratch right now, like going from 0 to 6 figures, like in a lot of businesses that sounds like a big step, but on Amazon, I mean, that's like stupidly doable right now. I mean, brands will exist before and after Amazon, so that's always been a thing. So yeah, that's my plan. That's how I've got it to this point, and that's my plan to take it to the next level. So that was incredibly cool. Thank you so much to the handful of you that came that know my stuff. It was awesome to get to talk to you guys. I think the talk was cool. It's definitely awesome to get experience like that. Huge thanks to Sam for putting on that event. I'll link him up. He's the founder of Review Match, the Chrome extension for matching your reviews to an order ID. But Amazon just made a change, so it's not fully working at the moment, but definitely check that out. There might be a fix. But yeah, huge shout out and thank you to those of you that showed up. I definitely think that they're planning on another one, so I hope to see you at that one. I just saw that Gary V saw my Airport Gary costume, but it kind of sucks is that he retweeted somebody else that tweeted my photo to him, so it doesn't have a tag of me, so that kind of sucked. But at least he got to see it and he really liked it. He said amazing, and a ton of people commented and thought it was super funny. Just that nothing really led back to me, but oh well. Hopefully, oh shit, there's like an accident. Yeah, we'll see what comes of that. But I mean, that was super fun to do that, and I'm glad that he saw it. Yeah, so he retweeted this of saying, Gary V, did you see this? But it doesn't tag me, which is kind of disappointing. But if you click on the photo, you can see that I posted it in this group. So my name is there, but yeah, I'm still glad he saw it. It's so cool. So I'm thinking that I'll probably put up the photo of my little talk and Q&A as a separate video, depending on how the footage turns out. But yeah, maybe I'll post up that content there so you can see what I talked about. Other than that, if you're new to this channel, please hit subscribe. I'm doing everything to show what I've done to build my Amazon e-commerce business to the 7-figure level, and what I'm doing as an entrepreneur as I as I progress. It's been a long day. For sure, follow me on Instagram. There's a Facebook group as well in the description. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one.